Salutations! I'm Connor Fowler,
And I'm Matt Smith.
and you are listening to yet another episode of Apocalypse Duds, which we thank you for. We thank you for listening again.
Yeah. Thank you also to all the new followers that we have picked up.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, doing all of this. It's not really the easiest thing to put like a value on, or whatever, however you want to phrase it, on followers to listeners, blah blah blah, all the metrics and data.
It's all kind of like bullshit.
yeah. That's
What does
essentially
listener
what I was saying.
retention mean?
Yeah.
Now they're talking to us about listener retention and like the number of people who listened to the show last week who are listening to it this week, which is kind of interesting, but I have no real faith that much of the data is accurate, and I don't have any proof of that, but that's what I think.
Right, yeah.
And that's what we're about here on this podcast, is unsubstantiated shit.
Yes. If you play the game, trying to promote basically anything from your artwork to a podcast to your handmade goods,
your
and
foot
whatever.
fetish only
What?
fans. Your foot fetish only fans.
Yeah, your foot fetish only fans. Yeah, we're all just running blind, and
no one has any idea what is.
No, I honestly,
even the Facebook people, even the Meta people, like no one has any clue.
I mean, it just goes to show that a lot of this shit is just people throwing something at a wall and seeing what sticks. So,
right,
yeah, we do.
Like my name, as I misintroduced myself today.
Oh, yeah, you did. You did. I didn't even catch that.
Yeah. Well, it's like I've been saying it for 33 years.
Yeah.
It's really in there, and especially with the show, it's reflexive, right? It's like I'm trying to just say the same thing that we always say,
right?
And I'm trying to say a different thing now.
Yeah, and somehow I still say my name the same way. I think basically every single time.
It's musical.
It is.
It's musical.
I guess
I
so.
think I want to make a supercut of us saying the names at the beginning. just like a 2-minute long. I think that would be pretty funny.
It would be pretty funny. Yeah, we could do a reel with that audio or something.
Oh yeah, and we're big into reels on this program.
We love
to make videos. We love to consume videos. We love to shoot videos and produce videos and edit videos. We love videos. Maybe that will help the algorithm if we pretend like we really like them.
Yeah, if we pretend like it's not just one other fucking thing that we have to figure out how to do.
Which it is. It's fucking exhausting. You got to post a story to the Apocalypse Duds Instagram every day. Are you fucking kidding me? Why can't you automate that shit? Well, we know why you can't automate that shit, because they're not getting ad revenue if you are not going to the app.
Right.
So it's just naked greed as ever.
Naked greed. One of my favorite hardcore bands dropped an EP out of nowhere today. The first thing they've released since 2009, I think.
Nice.
And yeah, the Hope Conspiracy. And it's fucking insane. Like, I don't know how they got even more ferocious than they already were, but I'm into it. It's basically all I've listened to all day today.
I'm gonna have to spin it.
Yeah.
Once we get off of this here.
Definitely.
But we just wanted to check in. We have a good show for you. With the wonderful Chris Berrant, who, if you don't know who that is, you will after you listen to this.
Yeah.
He's a very interesting fellow, and an extremely thoughtful person, and a very good dresser.
Yeah. It's it was a really fun conversation. We talked about Boy Scouts in a not creepy way.
Isn't this what they do in Boy Scouts?
Yeah, I don't know.
Weebelows.
Chris is an Eagle Scout.
Right? Which they don't do this for the Eagle Scout, I don't think.
Yeah. We talked about kind of being content with yourself. Menswear community, and our usual things as
And the
well,
Midwest, and a
and the
white person wearing tan. I
right,
mean,
yeah,
we dug deep, we stayed shallow. You know how we like to do.
yeah, yeah. It's really it's a really fun conversation, and we think that some of you, or hopefully most of you, will enjoy and get something out of it.
Yeah, absolutely. And so I thank you again. We thank you again. Of course, keep those $100 bills rolling in. We like them
I was actually
crisp.
gonna say we got another donation from a friend of the pod, and thank you for
Yeah. I don't
you
know
know
if we're shouting people out. I don't know what we're going to do. We're going to have to leave a voicemail on your answering machine
yeah,
when
yeah,
people donate. That's what we can
right,
do. And we can be a true NPR program.
yeah. In true our fashion, Connor was like taken aback by getting like $30 from someone, and
I
it's
was not taking it back. I listen, any amount of money is perfect.
oh yeah,
How else are we going
it's
to
great.
go? How else are we going to go to Bermuda again?
Yeah, yeah. I don't know who has gotten $30 worth of enjoyment out of this program. I'm just kidding.
Well,
Um,
if we tallied it up, there would be thousands and thousands upon thousands of dollars of enjoyment,
right, right.
obviously.
Anyway,
So,
yeah. If you can't tell, this is all just us being stupid and wanting to say thank you.
yeah. Well, I don't know if you can see or not because Matt's video feed is off, but mine is on, and you can see my golden tan. That I got this in Bermuda from the donations that we have been getting.
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
Very, very nice.
Yeah. Anyway, if you would like to make a donation yourself, I'll let Connor give you his information because I don't know if he's changed it yet or not.
Oh no, I haven't changed it. And this is the problem is that it's still the PayPal is connorfowler@gmail.com and
Right.
the Venmo is Connor-Fowler. And I'm
Yeah.
sure that it's very, very difficult to change your money account names.
Yeah.
So it might just stay a sad reminder.
Yeah, it could stay your dead name. Uh,
Yeah, that's shout out to my dead name. Give my dead name the money.
right, right.
We love it.
But yeah,
We love it.
if you like what we do and want to show some love and support, that is a great way. Otherwise, stay tuned for this episode with Chris. And once again, thanks for listening.
We just love the Caribbean. Our next guest, a 3%er. That's top 3% of dressers. We're talking David Bowie. We're talking Kurt Cobain. We're talking the Italian menswear guys. Hails from the little town of Cross Plains, Wisconsin, where apparently cranberries and ginseng are grown. He's inadvertently sober, unapologetically bald, and ready to kick some ass. Chris Berrant, welcome to the show.
Wow, that is I didn't okay, cranberries and ginseng, that's a new one. I do not deserve I do not deserve David Bowie, but I appreciate it.
yeah.
See, that's why.
We'll put him in
because
one.
you're modest. Because you're modest, and that's why you deserve it.
Exactly.
See, argue with that. Argue with that shit.
My small town upbringing tells me I'm not allowed to accept huge compliments. So
yeah.
That's what our show is about, is huge compliments, if nothing else.
well, there you go. I love it.
Fuck yeah,
I
dude.
love it. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming on. How you feeling today? It's another like later recording than we usually do. So yeah.
We're a late night talk show now.
Late night talk show.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm doing okay. It is Friday, which is pretty wonderful. I spent all day sanding, which is not so wonderful. Yeah. But you know, I've got a little drink going. I've got, you know, I put on a fit just for the podcast, and we're ready.
Hell
to
yeah!
Well, what did you settle on for a beverage?
Okay, so I call it a trail mocha.
Okay.
It's literally just shitty coffee, mixed with Swiss Miss hot chocolate.
Wow. I'm writing this down.
That is one of the first like combinations that I ever had of coffee when I was like 12 years old. Like
It's okay. It's a trail mocha because it's like when I first was getting into coffee, it was like I was in Boy Scouts.
Okay.
And that's what the adults would make as their like nice drink before hikes and
Right.
stuff like
Right.
that.
Wow.
And I wanted, you want to be an adult when you're like 14, so I decided I was gonna start to love coffee so I could, partake in this pre-hike beverage.
Okay.
You were in the Boy Scouts?
Yeah, I'm an Eagle Scout
Really?
actually.
Really?
Whoa.
What did you
Yeah, yeah,
do?
yeah.
What was your project?
So there's this. I think it's mostly in Wisconsin. It's called the Ice Age Trail.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a pretty big thing. It goes all over the state. And its headquarters are actually in that like small town I grew up in, Cross Plains. So we were able to like go to them a lot of the time and be like, hey, like what work do you guys need? So I basically did a landscaping project for like a trailhead in town, made the little kiosks and signs. I ripped up all the sod, did some brush clearing, all that stuff. It was fun. It's good.
Yeah, that's sadly a decent-ish organization with like very bad shit going on. Unfortunately.
The Boy
Yeah,
Scouts.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, like Catholic
Um,
Church level of bullshit.
yeah, I mean, oh, it's bad. Like, I mean, we don't have to get into the details of it, but like I loved it. It was like the one of like a few things in my life for my entire childhood. My dad was the scoutmaster, but he was like uh he was a scout as a kid. Like it always has that like heritage
Yeah.
aspect of it. Like families, everyone like in my troop had family members that were already in it. It was just like this big bonding experience. But not every troop is great. Clearly, not every scoutmaster is great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think they're getting better. They're letting girls in now. I'm not sure if they're letting gay scouts in yet. I really hope they are, because that was still. I mean, I wasn't a teenager that long ago, like, and they still weren't like officially allowing gay gay kids in.
Right.
It's kind of
Yeah.
rough.
No, and it's like, oh, but of course, like we know the whole shot of it, really, don't we? Just
Yeah,
too
yeah,
precious.
yeah. It's no, it's not great. I mean they basically went bankrupt like a couple
No,
Right.
years ago
that's
Right.
because of
great
all the losses.
because they can't bankrupt the fucking
Yeah,
church.
I mean,
But it's great that they can bankrupt an
right.
organization like that. That brings, I didn't know that
Yeah.
happened. That brings me some warm feeling.
Um, yeah, I mean, don't quote me on that, but it there was a significant reorganization after all that started breaking out. So hopefully things are on the
Yeah.
Yeah,
upside.
because I've got no beef with the thing, right? Like I think it's a great idea to learn how to
Right.
do stuff in an organized way.
Oh yeah.
Very good idea. So I'm not bashing the Boy Scouts, certainly. I was a Boy Scout. Like
Right.
Yeah.
Oh
I
yeah.
was, yeah. I mean, I got kicked out, but uh
What you got kicked
setting
out?
fires.
Oh
Listen,
sure.
they
Okay.
teach you
Yeah.
how to make a fucking fire, and then it's your
Me
problem
too.
if the fire is too good.
That's the thing. A good scoutmaster has to be like a good teacher and like have a pedagogy and all that and like teach you when and where and make sure they're like holding that to you. I don't think you should have gotten kicked out for
I
that
mean,
Yeah.
I don't know that I was like
personally.
formally kicked out or dismissed or whatever like mechanism exists for that in the Boy Scouts.
Yeah.
I was not allowed to come around anymore.
Yeah.
Oh
I have
man.
my own Boy Scout story, but it's like it's far less entertaining than the one Connor just said. So I don't even care about it. I did Cub Scouts through like middle school, early Boy Scouts, and I was like, okay, this is weird. And then in high school, I had a bunch of friends that were like Eagle Scouts or like on that path, and I already discovered punk rock and was just like, yeah, like this ain't for me. So I tried to briefly do the thing uh later in my teenage years and was just like, yeah, this sucks. Not into it. Yeah. I also had.
I think if I had discovered.
Oh,
sorry. You go
I
ahead.
also had. I have one very like traumatizing memory for me that kind of like foreshadowed the this sucks kind of thing. I think
Yikes.
I was like fourth or fifth grade or something, and we were doing like a day camp, like not even stay overnight, but you just go every day. And the first day, it fucking poured, and there was like, yeah, you can have this poncho, and I'm like, I'm still wet and miserable, and that was the first part of me being like, yeah, I don't think this shit's for me.
The like real skill of like making it to Eagle Scout is knowing how to be happy in the rain.
Totally. Oh,
Wow.
absolutely.
Well,
That's
that's the fucking episode title.
Right.
We had a good like year as a troop where I'm like not exaggerating. It rained we did a camp out once a month, not including our like week-long summer camp. We also did that. Every single camping trip for at least a year,
Right.
it rained.
Yeah.
And like I think like fortunately like the group dynamic makes it easier. Like you have to have kind of that like
Spree
I'm searching
decor.
Sure, yeah, you have to have the right group with like solid friends and a good dynamic, and then it doesn't matter that you're raining. You're outside. You're not, you're not having a bad time.
For sure.
But it's not always fun.
Well, because it's there is like this is my whole thing. Like being alone is the worst thing that there is. Okay? If it's pouring down rain and you're with some person, even if they're a miserable piece of shit, you're with somebody, It's like it's not that shitty.
Yeah.
So I mean I
No,
I
it's true.
understand the like everyone is getting poured upon.
Yeah, it's like it's almost fun. It's like look at all the shit we're in together. How cool is that? That kind of thing. And you're teenagers too, and it's like,
You're tough.
everything's just kind of like, yeah, you're tough, but it's like a funny thing. You can like laugh at yourself a lot easier. I don't know. It's great.
Hell yeah.
That's interesting though.
And that's
Just as a like kind of small look into your worldview, which like you do seem like a very happy person, I must say, of content person.
I do my best.
Well, so go on.
Oh, I don't know. I mean, like, hey, like, I don't know a lot of people that are super into being on Discord all the time or whatever, being into this online fashion space that are completely content with themselves.
Right.
That's fair. That's fair.
But I mean, hell, I don't know a lot of people in general that are super content with themselves.
Not in this country.
Like certainly I'm not. Yeah, not in this country. Oh my god. I do like I mean grand scheme, I don't have a lot to be sad about. I think there is something to how you present yourself, like I mean, I like this is like the most obvious thing ever. There's something to how you present yourself, but like I don't think that if I'm going around being mopey that it's gonna help my situation at all.
Yeah.
And I like the best thing to improving my day is having people interact with me positively. And if I'm not interacting with them positively, how's that ever going to happen? You know what I mean?
Yeah. An attitude of gratitude.
Yeah. There's something like that. I've never even put I don't feel like I've put this much thought to it before, to be honest.
Well, this is a thought-provoking program, of course.
It is, yeah. I mean, this is what you get in late night apocalypse done.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I think that trying to be approachable and trying to be honest and sincere has gotten me uh as far as I've gone, which admittedly is not far, but I don't seem to have many enemies, and that is kind of what I like.
Yeah, yeah,
Wow.
same
Uh,
here. Same here.
so
You
Uh
and Shane,
yeah,
you and
right on.
Shane Curry, really like a peas in a pod.
right, right.
Yeah, I actually no, I have listened to that
Yeah,
episode.
he just is
The,
a fucking
Um,
saint. He just is like positive all the time,
yeah,
happy all the time.
seems great.
yeah, there was
Um,
something that I read like years ago that Sid Mashburn said. And so uh I'll leave it up to whatever you want to take from that. I don't know where the quote comes from, but like it, in the days that I was like preparing to move to New York and like wanted to be in the menswear scene, something he said in an interview was light attracts light. And like
Mm.
I'm a fucking asshole. Like with a heart of
It just
gold.
is
You know,
patently untrue.
I mean, like I am an angry person in a lot of ways, but like there's a lot of righteous anger. But I have never
You
once like
wish you were
yeah,
you wish you were angry.
fuck off. But like that is something that I have kept in my like thought process with how I approach humans as a thing. And like it's really true. Like if you're if you're just trying to be yourself and trying to like make friends with people and be like a non-threatening entity, you get those types of people that respond to you. And like that's one of the things that I love
yeah,
about the menswear and like clothing as a whole communities that I've been a part of.
yeah. I mean, it's real, and I think that I don't know. I mean, I am also, and I don't know how it comes across from how we've all interacted, but I am a pretty like introverted
Totally.
person.
As I think a lot of us
And
are.
I don't. I think so. I mean, that's why we're attracted to these spaces, but I don't make a lot of friends generally, or at least like close ones. But like the ones that I do like end up sticking around, uh, are really great, and I feel like that's maybe something I can attribute to just like that sort of mindset. Like I'm not going out there and like being this social butterfly, but I'm putting on like a positive attitude and getting through the day, and people
Hell
respond
yeah.
to that. At
Yeah.
least I hope.
PMA, baby.
Which
PMA.
I went to Alfargo's and made an ass of myself
Yeah.
basically because I was like just in a shitty mood. The transport logistics had gotten fucked up. Like it was just not a good scene. But everyone was extremely
Mm.
nice anyway. Like, and I am an unpleasant person.
No, no,
Uh,
no, no. Okay.
so
Connor. I'm going to call you out on that one just like you did on me. Like, Connor is
if
not
I'm
my.
in a bad mood, no one wants to be around me. And
Okay.
still,
Yeah.
everyone was nice.
Yeah. Yeah. Because, like,
So I don't know. I mean, it's like a lesson I feel like I have learned, but I just like, you can't always do it.
No, I mean it's nobody's like how could you? You know, how could everybody be awesome and positive all
yeah.
the time?
Yeah.
It's not
I
possible.
don't trust
I
people
think
that are
like
positive all the time. Never have.
no, God. No. I mean Alfargo's seems I like obviously have not been there. Uh it just seems like a place where the energy is right and where people are gonna just like meet you where you are, be friendly, and like it's all good. um I mean, I think I look at that and like I've been into the like fashion sphere, I guess, for 5 or 6 years, and Alfargo's is like a more recent uh component of that, even though it's like, it's not online, obviously
Right.
it's in New York,
Right.
it's a real thing, but it does seem to be something that was kind of missing, just like a place for people to go and be together and, make friends. I mean, it seems like a great thing. I don't know. Nobody that I know who has gone has seemed to have a bad time, and I think that's awesome. Like, that's what the culture, if you will,
Yeah,
needs.
yeah. Like
Yeah,
these
agreed.
community building experiences are so important, and like Alfarco's
Yeah.
being that in New York, and like I sell vintage for a living, and have seen that grow so much in the past like 6.5 years, almost 7 that I've done this full time, and like that's
Mm.
important. It's important to connect people that
Oh yeah.
love these various facets of clothing together, and like the more the merrier, man. Like that's what that's what building community actually is.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and
No, I hope to make it out there
yeah, same
someday.
same here, same here. I'm really bummed that like I did
Yeah.
not get to go to any of the recent ones with Connor. Um,
Witness the Grinch.
yeah, what?
That's what the kids call me
Yeah,
at the school, Mr. Grinch.
yeah,
They call
They
you
call me
Mr.
Mr. Grinch
Grinch.
because I went to school dressed in the Grinch costume, of course. And the
Oh,
kids,
well then it's
they
great.
cried. I got like the most knockoff one possible on Amazon.
Mm.
The thinking being, of course, I would wear it once and then I would return it, which I did. But the mask was so
Mhm.
hideous that these kids who are very tough were sobbing. So I felt
Oh
horrible.
man.
But they still to this day call me
I
Mr.
mean,
Grinch.
but now are you Mr. Grinch positively in their
Yes.
eyes or
Yeah. They'd
negatively?
never be scared of the Grinch again.
I don't know. I think that I think a nickname, I was actually thinking about this in the shower earlier. I have no idea why. I think a nickname is almost always a good thing. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
you want to be known as something, and if people care enough about you to like call you something funny, that's great. You're in, you know?
Maybe I should have been born in the Midwest.
I mean, like as someone that has traveled a lot of this country, Midwestern people are fucking great. I have nothing to
My
say
extremely good
bad.
friend Jake. Yeah, Jake Jensen, he listens to this program. He is fucking awesome. How could someone be so nice? He drinks more milk than I do, which is really saying something. He drinks like
You
three
drink a lot of
gallons of
milk?
milk a week.
Damn.
Yeah, a
Holy
A
week.
shit!
week?
Yeah,
Oh my god. Okay,
because I drink probably
I've
a
fallen
gallon,
off of
maybe a
milk.
half a gallon a week.
That seems like a normal amount.
Like
3 gallons a week is
3
a
is
lot.
stretching it.
yeah,
3 is screwing with your GI.
yeah.
Hey Jake. All right, Jake, I know you're listening. Maybe cut back on the milk. I get it. It's really good. Try, I don't know, try oat milk. Try something else. That's a
Yeah,
lot.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
All
two
right.
percent too, because I drink whole milk, of course.
Uh, I
Oh, I
can't
love
even
whole
get
milk.
into
It's
this.
unbeatable.
Uh,
But Matt, you like a non milk product occasionally,
yeah, yeah. I don't drink milk because I'm vegan. When I like
right?
grow,
But
Well,
there
that's a
are
good reason
stand-ins,
not
there
to.
are
Yeah.
analogs.
oh, there are
They're not
many
the
better
same.
stand-ins than there were 15 years ago. I'll give you that. Milk was just never anything that like crossed my path growing up. Like we had 2% in the house, uh, or skim, mostly skim. The 2% was at my grandma's house. So like, I've just never gotten the appeal of milk.
Mm. I think, I mean, and to be honest, I probably haven't had a glass of milk in a year. Because, okay, so my girlfriend is lactose
Okay,
intolerant. Am I gonna drink a gallon of milk just by myself? So I've switched to oat milk. It only goes in my
yeah,
coffee,
huh,
and then I drink non-alcoholic beer as my like dinner drink.
nice,
Yeah,
yeah.
And it's great. It's a
So,
good life.
so, some
the
of my,
NA beer lineup has gotten so fucking
I mean,
big.
Oh
yeah,
my god. It's really the right time to be like allergic to alcohol. Like that is like maybe the one thing that's gotten better
right,
in the
right.
last 20 years is
That's
like
extremely
So,
funny. It's true. I don't drink that shit, but I agree with you.
okay, did you I mean, okay, there's this stuff called Klosstaler, and like I know plugs are for the ends because I'm an avid listener. But if you can try Klosstaler,
What the fuck is
that shit
that?
is so good. It's this like German imported NA beer. I think they only make non-alcoholic, and that's the
Huh.
key. They are like perfecting their fucking
oh,
recipe.
holy shit!
It is
Wait, so
so
this
good.
is why you're an inadvertent
Uh
alcohol, or sorry, inadvertently sober because you're allergic to alcohol.
yeah, I don't know if
I
allergic is
I
the
don't
right
mean to
word,
bring this
but
up.
a beer and a half. No, it's fine. A beer and a half in, I am throwing up.
Wow.
And it didn't always used to be
Got
like
right, right.
yeah, but it was like by like 21, all of a sudden it just, which is a terrible time to
Yeah.
stop being
Right.
able to enjoy alcohol. Uh it just stopped working in my
Holy shit!
system.
All right.
Like yeah, it's
I
weird.
mean,
I don't know.
I'm not. I
Um
don't say that from like a judgmental standpoint. That's just like that's a
oh no, I
yeah.
don't
That's
take
a
it that way.
very odd thing to like be a medical condition, which is
Right.
yeah,
Well, yeah, and I told my doctor, and I was like, "Yeah, like I just can't really do it anymore." And she was like, "Great." And I was like, "Okay, but what if there's like an underlying
right, right.
condition?" She's like, "Do you feel sick?" I was like, "No."
Yeah.
She's like,
I
"Okay, it's
mean,
great. You're good." I don't
yeah.
know.
Wow, that's. I mean,
Who knows?
I was I stopped being sober or straight edge at like nearly 26, and so it's just
Okay.
funny to like to hear this kind of thing, or not funny, but like ironic to hear this, and the doctors did not pay any bit of
Yeah.
attention. Just like okay, yeah,
Well, my theory is that it's just way more common than we think because like why else is all this non-alcoholic beer?
right,
Like there's a whole at my grocery
Oh
store.
no. It's
There's
because
a whole
people are
lot, a whole
drunks.
aisle for
It's
it.
because people are alcoholics. I'm positive of this. Like people are coming out in droves really because of COVID that they're alcoholics, right?
Mm.
Because they figured that they were
Well,
alcoholics
okay,
because they
yeah.
were drinking at home alone for 2 years.
Oh, that's
yeah.
interesting. Okay, no, that makes a
It's a
lot of
big
Because
sense.
market.
I got sober during
Um,
COVID, weirdly. Like I figured I was
yeah.
gonna die, basically, and then I stopped drinking. So here I am.
Mm,
I mean,
right on.
it
Yeah,
makes
it's
it
funny.
makes sense also because like food allergies are like very rampant. So it it fucking makes sense.
Right.
Like this has probably been a thing forever, and somehow it's just now like being researched or whatever.
No, for sure. I mean, like you hear all about like teetotalers or whatever. I like back in the day, I'd imagine that they probably just didn't feel good
Yeah,
when they had a
Yeah,
beer
right.
or
and
whatever,
getting
and
the
like
shit beat
probably
out of them
decided
all
it
the
wasn't for
time.
them.
Yeah,
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
I mean, it was like a
Um,
lot of women who were fed up with their like drunk piece of trash husband.
that's also yeah. I mean, that's fair.
This is
There are a lot of aspects
yeah,
to
It's
this.
deep. I mean,
lot.
the history of America is the history of alcohol.
Oh yeah. I mean, I see that in Wisconsin
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
all the time. We're like the drunkest state in the country. Um, you can get great beer, you can have a very good time, but drunk driving is pretty crazy here. There's like an absolutely a culture around drinking that people are like proud
Oh,
of
for
too.
sure, for sure.
Um, it's a very weird thing, and the reason, well, you know, I guess there's probably a lot of reasons, but really the reason we don't have legal weed here yet, even though we're like surrounded by states that do, is we have this whole like tavern league thing that's literally just like liquor and alcohol makers and bars that are like if weed gets legalized, we lose business. It's like this union of shitty businesses.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
There are crazy like liquor laws really all over the place. Like blue laws, I guess they're
Yeah.
technically. Um I just like in Baltimore, for example, you can't buy alcohol on Sunday unless you're a certain kind of
Yeah, there's
store that is allowed to, for whatever reason, sell it on Sunday.
isn't that so
I think you
weird?
have to
Yeah.
sell
Oh,
food.
it was
Another
that way
thing.
here for like decades. Like I remember in the like shortly after I started drinking in the like 2009 ish range. Yeah,
Mm,
you would have to like stock up Saturday night because nothing was available, and like my hometown was dry
yeah.
until like the early 2000s or maybe mid aughts. I don't remember exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um yeah. I mean, it's such a weirdly legislated thing that you actually like can't buy non-alcoholic beer after 9 o'clock
Right.
here
Really?
Yeah.
because it's like it's legally not different
Oh,
enough for you to be able to
that's
like buy it like soda,
uh,
I guess, but you don't get carded for it. It's a very
yeah,
odd
yeah.
thing.
We could do a whole
Um
episode on this.
yeah,
Yeah.
anyways,
We spent 20.
we've gotten
Yeah,
pretty far in and we haven't even talked
I
about clothes
know.
yet.
So to bring it back home, Chris.
Sure.
So one of the first
Yeah.
questions that we usually ask people is, what is your first meaningful piece of clothing that you remember? But I'm going to combine that with, since you mentioned you kind of got into this shit a few years ago, like 5 or 6, like how,
Mm,
like
mhm.
what's the first thing you remember? But also, how did you find the community?
Okay, so my first meaningful piece of clothing. Um I mean, if we're going way back, like
We are.
I
Yeah,
think I
go as
started
far back.
realizing that like okay, this is like probably the best answer I have for way back. Uh I think I started realizing the social like power of clothes in 7th grade because all the cool kids had Osiris's and I did not.
But of course.
Uh so
Well, do
I
you want
was
to tell
like, "Hey
everyone what
mom,
Osiris
like
is?
oh god, okay, so they're like the like last like flash in the pan of the chunky skater shoe before like
Huge.
I don't know. This was 2012, right? So like they really blew up. They were really shitty. Uh and they were just these massive fucking shoes that came in ugly ass colors. I don't even know if they're around anymore.
Well,
Uh
we can find out.
but I was like, shit, like I need a pair of these because I don't have a lot of friends because it's middle school. And I begged my mom to take me to Zoomies. I got this pair of like neon green, purple, and black Osiris's, and I wore them into the ground. And you know what? People liked me better for it. I won't even pretend.
Yeah, dude.
Um,
It's like a
I
signal. It's
like
like a class signal.
it is. I mean, it is like I I think it's like objectively stupid, but I got more attention at school for wearing these stupid Osiris's, and I convinced myself that they were really really cool. Um, and you know what? Maybe they were. Um, I'm sorry. What was the second part of your
Oh,
question? What started me getting into like
yeah,
clothes in
yeah.
general?
Like, kind of, when did you start to like quote unquote find clothes?
So I think that like I have a very like typical like getting into clothes story. Like I was at the end of my like high school relationship. I was losing all my hair. Uh and I was like, well, what am I gonna do now? I really liked my hair, I was a big fan of it. Uh so I was like, okay, I'm gonna
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
I feel you for reasons
Trauma.
I will not
so I was
go
like,
into.
man, it's
I'm
tough.
scared
Like,
that
it's
I'm losing my
genuinely
hair,
tough,
so
and
yeah, I'm with it.
not something that I think people really like take the time to understand, that like it's a thing that a guy is going through if he's losing his hair. Yeah, it's like most of
It's like
what
your
you
whole
okay.
identity.
So like I didn't care about my appearance, I only took care of my hair. And then it's like that's how I present myself effectively. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
like
so
that was
you
such a
really
big part of how I
Oh,
just
Jesus
presented
Christ.
myself in general.
yeah.
So I was like, shit, like, okay, I gotta pivot. So I
Right.
started like doing push-ups in my bathroom and like, was trying to follow the like, oh well, grow a beard, get in shape, and then start dressing well. That classic like Reddit like advice columnist kind of deal. Uh so that brought me to
Yeah.
MFA, which brought me Reddit male fashion advice, which brought me to the streetwear subreddit, where all of a sudden I was very like swept up in the idea that I could like not only dress well but like be kind of cool. And that was a big thing for me, especially because like I'm an introvert. I was like, I don't
Yeah.
really know how to connect with people very well. I wasn't doing like a typical college kind of situation. So I was just like, okay, I can
Mhm.
uh you know join this subreddit. At the time there was like a whitelist, so like your average like Joe Schmo could not really post a fit in there. It was like approved users,
Right.
which looking back on I'm like, that's kind of weird, but whatever. But it basically gave me this large
Yeah.
concentration of really cool outfits that I could like just scroll endlessly through. uh and the hooks just got in my brain. um and I think that like combo of being like a kid basically who is recently bald, has like self-esteem pretty low, all of a sudden seeing like all these people that are really cool and being like, I could figure out how to do that. Like that's kind of what I guess,
Look
apparently.
at you now.
um
Look at you now. You figured it out. You know what I mean? It's like,
I
dude,
appreciate
you
that.
really are up
No,
there. You know what I mean? You're not posting every day, you're not posting all the time, but
I
it's like
mean,
when you post something, it's fucking tight,
thank you.
it's creative, it's like
I
a
think
good
like,
photo.
okay, I think
So you
my
gotta give
hit rate
yourself
would be
some credit.
lower if I wasn't wearing painter's pants and a ratty sweatshirt every day, right? So like
I bet if you
I
started I bet
I
if you
mean, but like,
started
what's the
posting those,
point?
you would get
Here's the
tons
thing,
of
it's like,
attention.
Yeah.
That's my prediction.
Absolutely.
this is okay. No, this is true.
What do you mean what's the point? Dude, people pay thousands of
But
dollars for shit that is destroyed.
why?
Because
And you are
that
doing
is
it because of
Uh,
your job.
that is the
it's just the
point
top
of
for
this
you
show.
guys,
Like
Yeah.
that the point
right?
of the show is people wearing clothes. And like no matter what those clothes are, if you give a
Yeah.
shit,
No,
if
I
you
mean, and it's
care
like
about how
I
you
don't.
look, they're gonna
It's
be
just that
cool.
I want to post things that I think are really cool and I'm excited about. I've been wearing these painter pants. I've been wearing this uniform for years, and it's like I don't get a lot out of being like, look at me in painter's pants again. Like here I am looking cool and workweary. Um, yeah,
Right.
I mean, and it's like
I feel it. I feel it. Yeah.
I am.
But you are
Uh,
wearing workwear. Like this is workwear. Like
it's
the
true.
the
Yeah.
colors on your pants tell a story. That's the
Oh
whole
yeah.
thing about vintage workwear.
Oh
Is
yeah.
like
No, and
telling
I'm
the
with you, and
story
I
as
love
someone that
vintage
loves that
workwear.
shit.
I just will never buy something that's paint splattered. And it's just because I am too exposed to it. Uh,
I feel it. Yeah, totally. But,
yeah.
dude, 30 years from now, keep the pants you're
I've thought
wearing on
about
whatever project, and you'll
I've
be
thought
a
about turning
millionaire.
like some of my like
Shut
blown out
solely
pants
out for
into like
those
a tote
pants.
bag or something like that. Like I don't know. I feel like there's something I could do. Um,
Hell
You
yeah.
should,
Yeah,
because you're
it's
a little
fucking
ahead of us. Go, yeah, go on.
yeah, it's fucking cool that like you have a perspective that's like
hmm.
into all of these things that like your literal work clothes
Yeah, I mean,
could be part of the
I
fashion
agree in
conversation.
a sense. I just like I don't know. It's like it's just very hard to like take that work. Can you get oh, you can hear me, right? Oh, okay, I'm sorry. I saw my line go flat. I got scared. Uh it's very hard
Yeah,
to just
yeah,
like take
you're
that
good.
thing that I do 8 hours a day, 5 days a week, and be like, I want to like keep thinking about this, keep doing it. Um, yeah,
Right.
yeah. Um,
For sure, for sure.
sorry, I
I
got.
understand.
Oh, yeah, but I don't know if I posted every day. I did. I worked at Indochino for a spell, and I had a big mirror, and I was wearing tailoring, and I was posting every day on like Discord and stuff like that. And I got so like burnt out just on like, yeah, oh my
Yeah,
gosh.
Totally.
it's exhausting. It's really exhausting. I mean, talk about something that no one acknowledges or
It,
gives any
it's
credit
just
for.
not
It's
good for your
so hard to
mind.
fucking
I don't
post
know.
every
I
day.
mean,
It's so
uh,
laborious. It's
I think that
so,
there are people that do it and seem okay, but
no,
like,
it's horrible.
I mean, Connor, you post a lot, but like, I love your posts because like
Those people have
you're
something wrong
also
with
showing
them.
your life, and like that's really cool.
Oh,
Yeah, 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 yeah.
yeah, I'm trying to
But I
because it
don't
would
know.
be
I
so
I think
hollow, I
that
think,
like I
otherwise.
post like once every couple of weeks. It's just like a little fit.
Like,
And I just try to make the photography nice because it feels like an extra point of care. If it's not, I have this mental block of like, well then who wants to see this? Which is maybe more of a me thing than an anyone else thing. Well,
it is a you
thank you.
thing, actually, because everyone wants to see it. You're very handsome. So it's like, you know what I mean? It's like it's fortunate because I don't know. I mean, people theoretically think everyone
I
looks
I
good with no hair.
see
It's just
I'm
like
on
a
the
normal
other
head, right? Not
dude,
so. I don't
literally
think.
everyone says that
I
though.
think I would look
And I don't
insane
think
with
it's
no
true. Like
hair.
I have never looked at a bald person and gone, "Wow, you don't look good." Or at least like I don't think about it. I'm just like, "Okay, he's bald." You know what I mean? Like if you shaved your head tomorrow, I'd be like, "Okay, cool." Kind of shaved his head. He's bald now.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Someone once told me, this psychiatrist once told me, who's my friend's father. He was a huge
Yeah.
asshole. He said, because I was a real motherfucker, and he told me, like, you know what monks do? He was very, like, into Eastern culture, I guess. Like,
Ah.
they shave their heads to rid themselves of their ego.
That's so
And I was
weird.
like, you motherfucker, like,
So
I'm
weird.
13. Yeah. And I mean, I had a huge ego and I
Yeah,
had
I
really
mean,
long hair, but I
I
didn't shave
I
it because
think
he
that is
told
a
me
win for
to.
you. I don't know
Ha!
what he was trying to
A
prove.
win for me.
Like,
He
right,
was
but how are you
calling
going to say
me
that to a 13-year-old?
egotistical in
Yeah,
a
I mean, that's
backwards
just
way, but he was like in his 60s.
what the,
Yeah, he
what
was weird.
does
He
that
also
mean?
told me my sister really turned
I
out.
mean, I know what it
So
means. I
that's,
don't like what it means. Uh,
do you know what it fucking means?
geez, wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, just
Yeah,
careful. The more you know, though.
where do I get
Um,
I think a
So,
majority
where do you get your stuff?
of it comes
Your
from
clothing, I mean.
eBay
Yeah.
and the Real Real. So it's all right.
Interesting.
It's
I never used the Real
there
Real
was like a
before.
golden moment where they were really undervaluing a lot of their stuff, and you could get some really sweet things on the cheap. Um, and you still can, but I'm not sure I have much more. I do shop in person, or I try to. There's not a lot of shopping around. I mean,
No,
there are a
that's an
few
adequate
vintage stores.
answer,
There's
right?
actually a
Because
really
where are
cool
you
one
where
that
are you going to
opened
go
up
shopping anyway?
recently that
Right?
like does like they're only open a couple months at a time, then they shut down, completely redo the store, like new store concepts, and they like merchandise. Oh, can you hear me? I saw it disconnected. Okay, sorry. All right,
Yeah. You're good.
cool.
I don't know what's happening. The
They
sound
like
wave is
merchandise
being weird,
impeccably.
but I
They
think
like
it's
have a
fine.
cohesive like narrative through the store. That's been really cool to see. But most of the in-person shopping I do now is at the Midwest Vintage Flea, which is like a twice a year. Yeah, it's sick.
Oh, nice. Yeah,
Yeah,
I've got some friends that do it.
it's a party.
It's great. It seems
Yeah,
fucking
yeah, yeah,
awesome.
yeah.
Locals only
Painted
vintage.
pony.
Emily, Painted Pony. Like there's
Um,
a lot of really good people
it's
in that
incredibly fun.
area
It's no
that
like it's
like
not all
just
Fargo's,
go all
but
out
it
for
is like the biggest vintage flea in the area, I think, until you get to like Chicago. Um, and people just have a blast there. The vendors seem like they're having a good time. People remember you. Like it is uh the closest I can get to a sense of community around clothes in this area is when I go there twice a year. And it is like Christmas for me and my girlfriend. Like we always make sure we can
it. Hell
go.
yeah.
We always make sure we get something cuz it's just something like you want to see more of. But yeah, it's a blast.
Right. Right. Fuck yeah. Like I when we were, researching and doing like the kind of template that we do for the interview, it really seems like you like combine a bunch of various styles. Like there's a lot of, menswear, tailored clothing, whatever. There's some like 70s YSL that I picked up on, and then some kind of like, you know, Antwerp 6 like minimalism. But you pull all of these things off and you combine them in like interesting ways. Like like what's that progression been like? How did you go from like enjoying these styles to like mixing them and seemingly, pulling them off
I
in
think
a
that
in a way that like is
thank you
fresh.
first. That's very nice of you to say. Uh
You're here.
uh but I think that
Of course.
I I had when I was really getting into like clothes, I had a really hard time uh not liking something. Um if it was cool, like I genuinely liked something. Like I convinced
Totally.
myself to get
Hmm.
Rick Owens shoes on like more than one occasion, which was a mistake to be clear. I had Geo baskets. I had some
The
like sock
baskets.
Ramones that sucked.
I
They were
bet
like
you
made of
did.
this like scuba material. They were disgusting. Uh
Hmm.
and then I had some those like Veja runners or like the
Uh,
like hiking sneakers or whatever. Um which I actually still have. They're actually cool sneakers. But I don't know. So I kept like kind of rapidly going between like being really into one designer or another. I was really into like this like dark avant-garde stuff for a while. I had a very huge hate phase where I loved Hyder Ackerman, who I still love. And then I just started realizing like
Mhm.
I was never gonna like find my spot unless I started culling the herd and being like, okay, do I actually wear this? Does this actually go with any of my stuff? Uh, and you know, you can start selling, and then I think like the POV, as you might call it, kind of comes out of like refining that. But it still ends up with like I have a
Mhm.
lot of different sorry, a lot of different like represented styles just kind of in my closet. Um, and I think that if I hadn't started from a fashion angle, if I had started from like a menswear angle, I don't think that would have ended up the same. Um, because designers, you see them pulling a lot from those different influences, collection to collection. You can
Sure.
see like Dries Van Noten is going to be doing like military kind of stuff one season. He's going to be doing 70s the next. He's going to be doing like 30s the next. And you love it all and you want to try it all. And like that pushes you into seeing how do these shapes work together? How do these materials work together? How can I find myself in it or whatever? Um,
Right.
yeah, I think that's really all there is to it. Cool.
That was succinct. That was like a lot of time covered, right? That was a lot in terms of years,
That's
and
I'm
you
glad to
didn't
hear it.
say like 5
Um,
minutes of
I mean, I definitely
rambling,
could get
so
into
very
more
good, I
detail
think.
if you guys have more questions about it, but I think that's really all there is to it. Um,
No, I think I think that is a great like
Yeah.
chronology or
Agree. Agree.
I am not
whatever,
sure. I'm
because
not
that's
sure
what
it's
we're
the
looking
answer for
for is
everybody,
the
but it's
answer.
the answer for me.
And so that was the
Yeah, yeah,
answer.
yeah. Um, yeah.
No, but it's your answer. And I guess you talked about your inspirations. Uh,
Oh,
Matt wanted to bring up something.
Yeah, so we were looking at your account yesterday, and I think it was 2 episodes ago, or maybe one, that we
oh.
talked about the white person wearing tan question, which I have many thoughts on. I feel like I have jaundice, as a former coworker used to say when I wear tan clothing. But dude, there's a picture of you, which we will probably use, where you're wearing a tan suit, I want to say ecru shirt, and
Oh
I don't
yeah.
think you're wearing a tie. But like,
Okay.
where do you stand on
So
the tan question?
I
Obviously, you embrace this.
okay. So that's funny. It's not a suit, but it is separates. I'm committing the cardinal sin of like wearing like
Okay,
separates that
okay.
are way too similar in color, but I think it works for the picture. I don't know. I'm not a big rules man. Uh
I mean, it definitely
yeah,
does.
yeah, yeah.
It
I
brought up
think
a
that
question on the show,
I can
so I'm gonna
either
say it works.
get really concerned about that stuff or I can let it all go and just buy what looks cool. Um and okay, like I have the lamest reason ever for
Okay,
why I have these things in the
I
first
respect that.
place, which is that I mean it's not actually lame. It's like cherished memories, but like one of my like bonding like cardinal memories with my girlfriend was going down to try and get into a Harry Styles concert without tickets just like on a Friday. Uh she's a huge fan. I have been converted because it's truly
Gotcha.
like the most fun I've had at a concert. Uh, but people cry,
Does everyone
people
cry? Does
cry,
everyone cry? I went
people
to Taylor Swift show and
shriek,
every single
and you
fucking
have to be
person
prepared for
cried the
that.
whole
And you're
time.
not, that's the thing. It's like you have to let go of your judgment because you're in their house. you're a guest. So if people are crying, you have to be like, I get it, I understand.
Right,
But
right.
oh, they were wearing suits like really similarly to that in the first concert we went to. So then when we went back to round two, which this is like a picture that we took before we went to that
Sure.
concert, because they'd all do like the dress up for the show thing. Uh so I was like, I have to like bring out these colors
Right, right.
and
Right.
like commemorate that I was at that one show and really appreciated the tailoring they had, because like it's all Gucci up there, it's so cool. Like nothing cooler than a tan Gucci suit. I don't know. So
Yeah.
that's my replication. As far as thanks.
Okay.
As far
I
as
can
tan
respect
though,
that.
like
It looks
specifically
great.
for my style, which like my
Yeah.
answer like cleanly is wear tan. Like I don't know. Like it's fine. It's a great color. It's a neutral. You can wear any neutral you want.
Okay.
Uh but also, if you want to do the
Yeah.
70s thing, which I
Yeah, Matt.
very much do, you got to wear some tan. You got to do the cream turtleneck and the tan jacket, because that is,
Yeah,
or like
yeah.
60s
I can
anyways,
respect
that
that.
is like the color of that time period. That's like the iconic 70s or 60s suit in my mind, is like a flared wide lapelled tan suit, and then they've got the cream roll neck, and it's sick.
Yeah, yeah. I I can get down with many earth tones. I mostly wear
Right on.
earth tones. Blue being the exception. I I don't know why it is. I am very pale and have always just felt like tan does not work with my skin tone. So it's an ongoing project to figure out how it works
I
with
respect
other
it. You got to
pale
do the
white
research.
people's skin tone. Yeah, but dude, you look great in it, and
There we go.
yeah, we've got another vote in the tan camp,
Tan
which I
camp.
think Connor
Oh
also
yeah.
endorses.
Tan camp. Tan camp, baby.
Tan
We're in the
camp,
tan camp.
tan camp.
Uh so
Yeah.
I was gonna ask you what I try to ask everyone, and it's like one of the reasons really that I started this program. You take really good fit pics. You take really good ones. So like do you have a process? Like do you
Oh.
have like a whatever?
Oh,
You
no
probably
way.
just like
Okay.
do it, you take one
I
picture and then you're like, this is fucking over,
I
right?
okay. I take good fit
You take
pics
like 30.
because I spent so long taking bad ones, and now I can't look at
Yes.
them. I deleted all of
Mhm.
but okay, so I
I'm still taking bad ones and not getting any better.
through my buddy Chris, uh I I have one Chris friend, at least as far as I'm aware. If
So
I
you have a ton of Chris friends, right?
um
Because Matt knows
I
50
got
Matts.
into this like student club for a college I was not a student at, called Alt Zine, and it's just this like little fashion zine. We're talking about social issues, we're doing our photo shoots. It was so much fun. I really like fell in love with the process of putting a photo shoot together, styling that photo shoot, seeing it get published. Nobody read it. That's fine. Uh it was like the best like in-person bonding creativity kind of experience I could have asked for. And like through that, I'm like, shit, like I want, if I'm taking a picture of an outfit, I want a little bit of like a, like I want to capture that joy just a little bit. Uh so I do have a real camera. I have a real tripod, and I go out and I try and set up something that looks at least, it's a bug, sorry. I think so. That looks
Nice. Do you get it? That's like the first on-air kill of the show. That was amazing, and we got it on
I don't know.
video.
I try to put something together that looks and feels creative and fulfilling, because otherwise, like, I'm not sure that it's like, I'm like really weirdly critical about my fit picks. So if it's not up to that like standard that I have like created for myself out of no purpose and nothing, I don't really want to share it. And like maybe I'll post it on like a little chat, but I'm not going to put it on my Instagram. I mean, yeah,
Yeah, it's not feed. It's not for the feed. I changed that standard, and now that I post
I
every day,
think,
it's like
but
whatever
like here's
dog
the
shit
thing, I
I
actually
do
kind of
goes
wish
on
I could
there.
get back to more
I don't
of
know if it's
that,
effective.
because I'm like,
The daily creative practice.
that's
Yeah, dude. I mean,
awesome.
Peter totally said that I inspired him to start taking pictures every day.
Right. I mean,
And I was
because
like,
now it's like, I don't know, like
that's the best thing that I've ever heard
I'm on
from
a
any
decent
person.
streak now of like every couple weeks strapping something on my Instagram. I also am like coming to terms with the fact that my audience is just basically like people I already talk to. I don't have an audience. I'm not like an influencer. I'm just a guy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just a guy from Wisconsin. No, I stopped hashtagging on purpose
You
because
gotta
I was
start
like, I'm kind of
hashtagging,
sick of
baby.
like pretending to be an
It's
influencer. It's so weird. Uh
It's disgusting.
yeah. Like
it really is.
it's all such an
Um
interesting like phenomenon because we all just kind of put up with this, and like I come from a part of internet clothing culture that was like
mhm,
based on message boards and shit, and I'm trying to adapt.
yeah.
So I feel like
Yeah, I
we're
mean, and it's like
all
for a
just trying to
while, for
adapt and like
I mean, I don't
find our
know,
people.
call it being 20 or whatever. Not that I'm that much older, but like I was just like trying to get a lot of followers. And I
Right,
was like,
right.
that's what you do on Instagram. You try and get a lot of followers. But now I'm like, what was that building towards? Like I'm not on some greater creative mission. I'm not getting any money out of this. Like
Well,
why do I want to share with anybody but the people
no.
that I already follow and follow me?
Yeah, it's basically all of us
Exactly.
nerds
Yeah,
trying
yeah,
to
yeah.
find other nerds to talk to the shit that we like about. Like, it really isn't any more like. I mean, I love it. I think that like it's amazing
Yeah.
to be able to interview people that we've never met that share this thing.
I
Like
mean, that's the
that's what the
dream,
show is
right?
about.
Like
Also,
you guys
it's
get
just
to
like
connect
talking
in
to
like
people.
a much more real way and like
It really
figure out
is.
what
It
these
really
people are
is.
about. Like
Yeah.
I don't know, Blamo's not having me on, but in like Apocalypse Duds is hitting me up just on a Monday being like, want to be on
I
Friday? I'm
mean,
like, fuck yeah.
dude, I mean, I like, yeah, and that's like I think one of the early things that Connor and I were scheming on is just talking
Mm,
to people that are in this sphere but aren't celebrities. Like I'm not really, or none of us are really interested in talking about about people that we
mm.
know, that get
So congrats on
written
getting
up in
Derek.
GQ or whatever.
You know,
But
you had a
making
good
this
streak there
connection,
where it
it's
was like I was
important.
like, damn, they got this guy. Where
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
I'm just saying. Oh
yeah.
yeah?
But also
Well,
like,
you should see what we've got planned.
yeah. Also like our whole point is that Derek Guy, who we
Yeah.
all love, is just a normal ass person. And it's
Yeah.
about talking to
No,
people that
that's
are just
so real.
interested in the same shit. So
Yeah, Chris the Painter.
We like to talk to the Joe the plumbers out there.
yeah, like you're a fucking painter. That's
Yeah,
rad.
Chris the painter. Fuck.
Chris is the
Damn
painter. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, Chris, dude, thank you so much for coming on. We we always like to give our guests a chance to shout out what they want to.
Oh, sure.
Your
So
Instagram
if you
handle or
want to follow
whatever.
me,
So here's yours.
it's Chris_Berrant. I post infrequently, but
And you
I try to
do.
make them good.
You do.
Shout out the Midwest Vintage Flea. If you can make it there, show up. I think the next one's in like May.
Fuck yeah! Fuck
Yeah.
yeah!
Yeah,
Emily,
they're all
Tom,
great.
if you're
It's a
listening.
good time. And then shout out my man Chris, who I mentioned briefly earlier. He has a cool like fashion archive page. I think it's like Unrealism Archive or something like that. But he finds the pictures that no one else can of like old like Helmut Lang and Dior and stuff like that. And
Hell yeah.
it's unrealism.archive, I believe.
What is it?
And he's going to be like so embarrassed if he even listens to this that I'm mentioning. Oh, unrealism_archive.
If he listens to this, please. Our listeners are in the hundreds
I don't
of
know.
thousands.
I feel like he's doing a really cool thing there. He only has like 200 followers. I feel like he deserves a lot more. So, yeah, that's Chris. There you go.
Yeah, this is cool. I'm
Excellent.
following it right
Oh,
now.
yeah. We'll shut him out. All right. Once again, Chris, thank you for coming on. I am Matt Smith at Rebels Rogues.
And I am Connor Nunez at Real Connor Nunez.
Real Connor Nunez, motherfuckers.
I was telling someone, I'm sorry, Matt. I was telling someone today about the handle, and I was like, oh, it's Connor Nunez. And they were like, it's what? And then I remembered that I made it Real Connor Nunez. Which is like way funnier.
All right. Yeah, well, we'll unpack this on another episode. If you have questions, comments, concerns, apocalypseduds@gmail.com. If you would like to follow us on Instagram and our exploits at apocalypseduds.
Yeah, thank you guys.
And Chris, one more time, thank you. We'll see you next week.
Chin chin.